Carolyn, welcome to the Ormo Labs Community Spotlight. So delighted to have you here today. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks. It's great to be here. This is really fun.
It's a good way to kick off a Monday.
It is,
you know?
yeah, Monday morning. And
Yeah.
this is the first time I've done this, so this is great.
Yeah, it was good. We had a coffee this morning. We were like, right, 8:30, let's lock in, let's get a coffee, chat through things. And it's been really interesting. I've known you for well over a year now, and there's things that we were chatting about this morning. I was like, really? So this is going to be an interesting podcast. We're going to dive a little deeply into, the life of Carolyn. You're a vet, a mum, and a founder. So that's really exciting. So we're kind of going to go through that journey in terms of, how you became to get that real energy to become a founder while balancing home life, while balancing work life, and the supports that you've been able to receive. Obviously, you're a member here at Ormo Labs and being part of the community through the Founder Labs Accelerator program. So we're going to dive a little deeply in. And I suppose a nice place to start is the journey of where you got to and where you are now. And I think for me, it was lovely to look back and go, I remember Carolyn came to an event, and it was an event hosted by the awesome Lorraine Curran from Dog Patch in Dublin, and it was the Fierce event. It's the first time I think they'd come up to Belfast, and there was so many awesome female founders, those that were in business, those that were thinking about business. And that's when I met you.
It is. That's where we met. It was such good energy that day. I remember meeting you. Well, you're always lovely. When we meet you at the door, you're always like smiling. So yeah, that was. It was your handover. So Claire was finishing that day and you were stepping front and center, and I hadn't met anybody, I don't think, here. Hadn't met Ian Brown either. That was, so it was just... Thank goodness I came to that event, Amy. What if I hadn't? Like, that was...
I know, and I think...
have to...
Yeah, that was the seed for you to kind of go, okay, Founder Labs is coming up. Do you think should I apply for this? And I think the applications are maybe closing quite soon.
Probably. That
does
sound like... that does sound like me. It's like... okay, let's just jump in and do this. But, straight away I knew there was just this warmth and energy and encouragement that I think you only get when you come along to a place where it really is all about that community support, engagement. Founders Lab was a program, but it obviously sat very much within the ecosystem of Ormo Lab. So, straight off meeting you, and as I say, then Ian, I remember it was about AI, and he did like a mini hackathon. I think he actually used pet owners as an example, discussing some of the challenges around pet insurance at that time. And it all became a bit interactive. But I stuck my hand up and I
love that about you. You're always like pushing forward, and I love that. You're always there asking the questions, and that's super important. And you touched really lovely there on community and the power of community, and now you're building your own community. So I think let's chat a little bit about, Carolyn, you're a vet, first and foremost mum. But how did you become to where you are now? Like, let's dive in a little bit more about that.
Yeah, gosh. So I probably took quite a standard route through school, university. I wanted to be a vet when I was 8. So, of course, you don't change track. You just stuck to that, was really single-minded about it. No one could have talked me out of being a vet. So, then went to London, studied veterinary, practiced in England for, I think it was about 4 years, and then moved back here to Northern Ireland. Pretty much to be close to family, start our own family, which is now I have a 17-year-old and a 15-year-old, which is crazy. And I've been a vet for 20 plus years. So that bit was all kind of fairly standard. I did start and run my own clinic for 15 years. I was a specialist in equine dentistry. So a bit away from the pet space, more in the horse's mouth side of things. But it was... really all of that. Loved the clinical journey. But I suppose there was a bit of a turning point around thinking mid-career, what would my legacy or impact through my veterinary be longer term? Was it always going to be in the specialist space? And And I think it was just really about thinking there was potentially a technology-enabled way to have more impact.
Yeah.
And that impact for me felt like it would be best around the cost conversations, the friction, the stress that always was my least favourite bit of my day. Amy, was just when you had to really get into the cost of the veterinary care that we were providing. And I just felt like, maybe if owners had a bit more sort of foresight, insight, that could deliver change.
And so I suppose, was that the turning point for you? Like it sounds like you're coming at this from a very non-technical perspective, but you seen the problem and you were like, right, how do I solve this? So
totally.
How do you go from, okay, I see a problem, to actually launching All Petz?
Yeah. Well, definitely not the direct route. So that, it you could make it sound really tidy, but it wasn't. It was a long process. Sure. We explored improving the puppy sourcing process, trying to help people avoid the pitfalls around that during COVID. I ended up sort of just being a bit of a puppy sourcing, sort of counselling therapy session with a lot of my friends who were sourcing puppies at the time, and we looked at kind of how that was a problem. We looked at education as a way of helping to kind of help in this proactive space, and then All Petz. So the iterations it's gone through have already sort of helped me to understand, I guess, the problem even more, and then realise that you have to focus in one space around which problems you can solve. And then practically I did Catalyst co-founders, I did Design Hub there as well, and everything kind of set the groundwork and prepared me for then being in the right space and having the right, I suppose, mindset to do and to get that place, that like coveted place on Founders Lab. So that was kind of the journey. It did take a little bit of transitioning away from that, and I'm still not technical. I have an amazing team behind me of engineers, and that's the only way we could get to where we are now.
Awesome. So I think talk to us more. We're an exciting point for All Petz.
We are.
Tell us a little bit more what All Petz is for, and let's talk about your exciting news.
Exciting
it's
news.
So exciting.
Well, it is. It definitely is. It's such a great point to be at, to say that we're now live. So yes.
Oh my goodness, amazing.
It is. We are live with at allpetz.com. So the platform in its first iteration is really building our community. So what we're asking pet parents to do is to think about how they would prepare for any handover of care. How would you, if you were leaving your pet for a night or a fortnight, take everything that's in your head? You have Ralph, so I know that he's going to be on the platform, and if you just had to be apart from them and share all of that information that you hold in your head, it's quite. Some people have really documents folders. It can be a little bit all over the place, depends how organised you are, but then also all the little details, the likes and dislikes, what their routines are, what their feeding schedule is, all of that. So go on, put all of that on, and then you can just share that in one click straight off. No more A4 sheets.
I love it. So the pet profile really is the foundation of All Petz.
It really is, yeah.
And we all know that. Like you talked about Ralph. I don't think Ralph's actually ever featured on any podcast that we've done here. So
Ralph.
This is a full shout out to my little sausage dog, Ralph.
Yeah.
And Ralph is my baby. He is a little 3.5-year-old sausage dog who I'm obsessed with. And I know, as like a pet parent, the stresses that come with that. And even for me, I know I was asking you when it came to like your renewal of your insurance. It's like, oh my goodness, is this the right thing? Ralph's a little bit older now. He's got, there's potential problems that we need to think about. Like, what's the right avenue for me? Because I am a pet owner, but I'm not aware of all the different problems that come with having like a specific type of pet. And it's always reassuring when you know you've got somebody that you can rely on that's a great source of that information. So I think All Petz acts as a really good source for that as well when that iteration is available as well.
Totally. And that's exactly, it is going to be building on that. For the next stage of the conversation is around, okay, we have these lovely profiles, we're able to share information, but how does that build out into then proactive ownership? How does that help you plan for your insurance? If you already have an insurance policy, how do we help you understand any gaps, co-pays, excesses, so that those aren't surprises in a stressful time? Because the point of care, veterinary practices, we try very hard to make them pleasant, relaxing places and environments, but ultimately, you mostly, when it's a surprise visit, when it's that non-routine situation, that's where we really want to have helped support you to have all the information, make a calmer, better decision. And it sits away from that routine, you know, when you're just going in for your vaccines and your flea treatments. So all of that is what we're sort of advocating for, is preparation, organisation of that sort of documentation and information. Peace of mind.
And you've already got an engaged audience there. Like, I don't know what the figures are, but, you know, I'm sure it's like 9 out of 10 people have a pet of some sort, you know? So it's, and everyone cares for their pets. So there's a really nice audience there that you've already tapped into.
They do. No, absolutely. And we just see that more and more, that pets are members of the family, and that's great. But families need organisation, and how do you bring it all together? So we really are trying to create a really fun place. Digital, it's it's on a web app, so you find us through the domain on the website. But this is just the beginning of the journey. I mean, as you know, you've seen how we are really engaging with so many other organisations, with charities, with insurers. We're bringing in all of those different elements to it so that we can actually deliver huge amounts of support. And it will, you know, from the veterinary perspective, we are very focused on evidence-based, trusted source information, that there is that little bit of a guardrail around the information so that you can hopefully feel really secure that the advice that you get is going to be really the best for Ralph or whoever your pet is.
And you'd mentioned there, best way to connect in now that we're live, that's going through to All Petz website. So allpetz.com. There we go.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
Get your profile registered, be part of the community. I love that.
Totally. Yeah, no, we're really excited. It's lovely times coming into summer, so lots of people are sort of away for a night or two here and there. So it's the ideal time to be able to share that. And look, I have a total menagerie. The head count at home is chickens and cats and a dog, and Spook's here today because it's we're going live on Bring Your Dog to Work Day,
which I love. I love that.
Like, that's why insane. Not? So we have all of that. So it's like we're able to just say wherever you are, whenever you are apart, then it's summertime. Let's go live and make sure that we have that sort of ready for everyone to use. So we're excited to see how they use it, and then to get the feedback. Of course, like your community here, you're always really keen to get feedback from us, and we're always more than delighted to tell you how well you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much. And we appreciate that so much. And I think you've highlighted it really well, in that today obviously is Bring Your Dog to Work Day, which we love. And we've obviously got our extended family and our community here at Omo Labs who are all shaping this tech world as we move forward. But also we've got a little community of dogs here we do. Which we love to see coming through the door. So we've got Spook, Ralph he's here as well. So it's just a fun day all round, which is super awesome.
Totally is. And like it takes it's such an enhancement to a workplace. It takes everyone's stress levels down, and it helps you to engage. You know, what's a better conversation starter than, hey, who's this? and the dogs are just such glue in the community when they come in together. So that's really fun too. So
I suppose that it's great to hear your journey becoming a founder and sort of the supports that has helped shape you obviously came through Founder Labs Cohort 3. It was lovely because that was my first cohort when I came on. So it was great being part of that and seeing you grow into where you are now and the trips that you got to go on, which was super awesome as well. And I suppose being part of this community at Ormo Labs, like how did you find that helped in terms of where you are with the business now?
Wow, like just so much from coming in the mornings and just having a welcome. You guys are incredible. We, the just hi, good morning. You sort of don't feel like you're coming into just no bit of this is isolated. There is all connections, the meetups, the Thursday socials, the after, you've monthly focus on founder, just all of the connections out into the community around the labs and then within the lab. So I have had conversations in corridors and bathrooms, and I'm quite chatty, so maybe it was like, but we just end up kind of just connecting, and I think that's the key here is that it's not about the desk or the physical sort of resources. It's all about the community and that connection into other. Often for me as a founder, I've just found that there's so many aligned people here that can. I just had a chat with a lovely lady upstairs who has 25 years in HR, and she's also a founder of another company, but we will be grabbing a coffee next door in Napoleon, and that's how it just works. It just works so well. If you're open to that, it's available. And then you've got all your breakout spaces and call rooms. So I can do a very blended day here. I can do social, I can connect, I can focus in and do some really sort of concentrated work, and I can then obviously you've got all your meetup places so people can come in and take meetings, and
I think nothing warms my heart. That's so kind of you to say. Here, honestly, firstly, like I love that. We're a small team and we're all North Star of like network and community is at the heart of what we do.
There you go.
And nothing does warm my heart more than when I see two founders from like maybe doing two different things or on two different journeys, but they come together because there's a commonality, or they find that they can support each other, or they know somebody that they can help them journey on that path with. But that just makes my heart sing. So that's awesome. So I'm glad that you can have those conversations with different people and connect in and feel supported by just coming through the doors.
For sure.
So that's super awesome.
Yeah, well, you're nailing it. If that's the objective, then that's it. You know that from just stepping through the doors. I think that's the thing. It is hard to describe here. Obviously you sort of trying to kind of summarize it, but it's a feeling, and it's a really positive one, and it motivates me. And as I say, it's working because these are the conversations that we're having here. So how cool is that?
Yeah. I think that's a lovely place to close. Carolyn, thank you so much. This is a really exciting time for you, and it's lovely to see your journey as a founder and how you've shaped it and grown and built and broken and built again, and look where you are now launching. So that is so unbelievably incredible. I'm super proud of you. So yes, thank you so much for joining us today, and good luck with the launch.
Thank you so much, Amy. Thank you.